So, if you want to know more about Waste for Edmonton or engage with us on social media, you can go to our website, wastefreeedmonton.ca, or you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The best thing you can do to get involved is empower yourself to reduce your waste, talk to your friends and family about reducing waste, and then we can all make the world a more sustainable, cleaner place.
River Valley Conservation Coalition. You can find us on Facebook and on our website, ervcc.com. Again, we are standing up for preservation and restoration of the Edmonton River Valley and ravine system.
Live.
Oh, well, thank you, James. I'm so glad you could come out to this beautiful Dawson Park here in downtown Edmonton along the North Saskatchewan River. And 1 month ago today, actually, a group of us did a shoreline cleanup. There were several groups involved: the Edmonton River Valley Conservation Coalition, Waste Free Edmonton, who is represented today by Sean, and Edmonton Proud. So I'm expecting all representatives from those groups to show up fairly soon, and we can chat to each of them. So shoreline cleanups are important to me. I've been doing them for many, many years because everything, all the litter that ends up on the shore or whatever, eventually sometimes gets it into the storm system or the river, carries down, and it ends up ultimately in the ocean as microplastics particularly. So been doing this for over 10 years, many shoreline cleanups and many different volunteers and interested parties associated with those. So we did do this event with some grant money from the TD Park people, and so they were helping us to fund. And this year, of course, with COVID, they asked us to do one event during the COVID time. So the Dawson Park cleanup was that event. So when the others come, I'll introduce them, but right now, perhaps I'll have Sean from Waste Free Edmonton tell about his part.
Hello. So my name is Sean. I'm the public outreach manager for an organization called Waste Free Edmonton. And Waste Free Edmonton is a non-for-profit, grassroots, volunteer-led organization that is geared towards waste reduction. So one of the most important things we can do to keep waste from getting into our river and other waterways and into our natural areas is just reduce it in the first place. So that's why kind of the hierarchy of reduce, reuse, recycle is reduces first, because that's the most effective method of eliminating waste, is not creating it in the first place. So that's a big proponent of Waste for Edmonton's message, is we want to empower citizens to incorporate a waste reductionist view into their life, using reusable cups, reusable bags. Obviously, COVID has complicated that a little bit. I think there are creative solutions around that, and I think you'll start to see particularly supermarkets being able to incorporate reusable bags back in, because we're learning new things about COVID and how it spread, and so hopefully we can start to incorporate more reusable products back into our lifestyle, but then also moving into a post-COVID world, acknowledging that we need to find a balance between convenience and sustainability, and that comes with waste reduction at the forefront. And so Waste for Edmonton wants to bring community members together in events like this cleanup, which was super fun. We had about 15 to 20 people come out on a super rainy, cold day, and we still picked up tons of garbage out of our local river valley and along the river bank. So it was really successful. It was very feel good. We were still able to social distance, so it's something you can do during COVID. But yeah, we were so grateful to be out and be representing the community, because that's what we do. We are a community-driven nonprofit that is driven by just outreach and engagement and empowerment of citizens to reduce their waste. So we are grateful to be part of it.
We did have 24 volunteers sign up to help us. It was raining pretty well the whole time we were here, but this wonderful shelter gave us protection. So after 2 hours of cleaning, we ended up with 105 kilograms of litter. That was 16 bags of garbage and 2 bags of recyclables. which were the bottles and cans. And there was a shopping cart, a stroller, and an umbrella stand were some of the more unusual things. I think the most unusual was a cannabis container, which we've never had on a cleanup before. And we even had one blue bristle, which is something that the bristles, which are coming from the snow sweepers in the wintertime, is something that a lot of us are involved with data, collecting and keeping data on throughout the year. So with shoreline cleanups and litter in general, usually the number one thing, and in our case too, was cigarette butts. And then after that is food wrappers, so candy bar wrappers, that kind of thing. And then plastics in general, like little pieces of plastic, whatever that kind is. So that was our day.
Town core. We're from 5th Street to 10th Street, 11th Street. That's 105th, that's 111th Street. And from 98th Avenue up to 111th Avenue. So I'm called Downtown Dawn, I think is my
Downtown Dawn, yes.
nickname. So these don't break down in our water system, and we work with some scientists at Maine, I believe, and they are still doing it.
There was a student project at May, but it's finished now.
Oh, it's finished. And we're trying to figure out how much harm they do to ourselves if we drink water with these plastics involved, when they could very easily go back to bristle, I suspect. But I notice around the Parliament grounds, they are doing an excellent job of paying people to clean up the bristles and the cigarette butts and put in new plants that are invasive to the botanical region.
James, for joining us here at Dawson. And I want to introduce you to a special woman, Christine Kowalska, who is the leader of our Edmonton River Valley Conservation Coalition. So Christine, I'll ask you to explain what our coalition is all about.
Okay, all right, thanks, Jaynne. We were founded in 2017, so this is our third year running now. And we are made up of a group of conservation and recreation groups and individuals, and our goal is to create a stronger voice for River Valley Conservation and River Valley Conservation and Restoration. And so, yeah, we've been working over the past few years to bring groups together and to share ideas and to really try to shift the thinking in the city and the discussion that happens in the city of the River Valley from a sort of human-focused one that is all about infrastructure and access towards a more ecocentric one that considers how we might better approach the River Valley with a mindset of respect and care.
Yes. And that's what we tried to do with this event, is be an example of that. And one of the groups that we were able to reach out to was called Edmonton Proud. And, there isn't a representative here. I'm expecting Jody in a minute, but we'll get her to talk. But
yeah,
you can say a few words of how that connection.
Sure. Well, we're in Dawson Park right now, and a few years ago, some towers went up on the riverbank over there. And when those towers went up, there was a lot of construction garbage, including styrofoam bits that broke into 1 million pieces, that then broke into 1 million pieces more, and ended up all in the park. And obviously we're headed towards the river, where they would have caused major problems for fish and other aquatic life. So a few of us in the neighborhood reached out to the Boyle Street Community Center and asked, we'd heard a little bit about Downtown Proud and asked if they might have some people who could come and help us to clean up the park and clean up this styrofoam. And they did that, and it was fantastic. And it was a great way of doing what the coalition intends to do, which is bringing groups together to work together towards a common goal of protecting the River Valley, making it more safe for life. In this case, it was the wildlife in the park, people, and then the fish in the river. And so that worked out really well. So this year then we did the same thing with the TD Park people grant, we brought groups together to clean up the park and do a bit of an audit on what we found. And so yeah, the Downtown Proud group was part of that again, and I'm so happy to be able to support what they're doing and to work with them. It was a fantastic experience.
Yes, yes, a great hands-on organization.
Yeah, it really was. And overall, it was just a good day for people to be working together. That park cleanup. We picked up a lot of garbage, which I think maybe you've talked about already, and it was just so gratifying to then be able to walk through the park afterwards and see the work that we had done, and just have it be healthy and green and clean.
Thank you, Christine. Yeah, and that reminded me about one of the items of litter I didn't mention. As when we do a lot of the downtown cleanups, we often will find syringes and that. And I just think of how hard it must be if you particularly are living rough, as Rocky calls it, in the river valley, and you have diabetes, so you're still giving yourself the injection. So as Sean mentioned, it is important to have safe injection sites for those people. But as part of our litter cleanup, we do pick up sharps, as they're called, and we did find some that day.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
So my name is Jacqueline Noga. I am a member of the Edmonton River Valley Conservation Coalition, and I also do research in environmental health. And I was a part of the Dawson Park cleanup, where we picked up over 200 pounds of litter. And a big part of the cleanup was creating audit forms so that we could see what kind of litter we were picking up. And not only did we want to know what we were picking up, but we also wanted a plan for how we were going to use that information. So on top of doing kind of your initial audit, beyond just collecting that data for the sake of having it, we wanted to use that data to inform the City of Edmonton and our partners about what kind of litter we're finding, and perhaps give them ideas for what solutions to that litter might be. And the reason that we are interested in picking up water, especially along the shoreline, is when litter goes into the water, it becomes a pollutant, and the water that's in the North Saskatchewan is still consumed downstream by other human users. So when you have little bits of garbage going into the river, they slowly break down and they become things like microplastics, which we're just starting to learn about, but we know it's a big problem. So we are excited to continue to clean up along the shoreline and hopefully get some more folks involved in the future. And the last thing I'll say is we have our annual fundraiser, the Night Out on the North Saskatchewan, on September 19th at 7 p.m. For the sake of safety, we will have it online. We have some awesome speakers lined up, and we hope that you attend.
So if you want to know more about Waste Free Edmonton or engage with us on social media, you can go to our website, wastefreeedmonton.ca, or you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The best thing you can do to get involved is empower yourself to reduce your waste, talk to your friends and family about reducing waste, and then we can all make the world a more sustainable, cleaner place.
River Valley Conservation Coalition. You can find us on Facebook and on our website, ervcc.com. Again, we are standing up for preservation and restoration of the Edmonton River Valley and Ravine system.